welcome to another episode of VC Wisdom Podcast. Today we have William Belov with us. He is VC at Vox Valor Capital. Hey, William, can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about Vox Valor?
Okay. Hi, Charles. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here. So I've been with technology from 2008, I guess. So I started at one of VC fund in Russia. It was backed by huge company. And then I switched to project manager. I've been on both sides. So I was at VC side, on investment side. I was at project company side. I was founder myself. So I started new projects, new companies, new geographies for my companies. And during last 3 years, I'm with Vox Valor. It's something between VC and private equity. So actually, we are more buying companies than just pure investment into them. We got three main verticals. It's game dev, mobile gaming, it's edtech, advertising, everything around that. Marketing agency, technologies, and things around that. Also, SaaS in very broad definition of that word. Also, half a year ago, I also started working with company. We are doing M&A in data scraping, data analysis field. So not a region maybe specific, but since I'm from Russia, so I'm from Moscow, so we are working more with Eastern Europe companies, former Soviet Union, and somewhere around that.
Okay, I'm curious. You said that you bought companies more than you invested in them. So can you tell us why that is? Is it like a different market? Why do you acquire those company all entirely? Because if you acquire companies to run it most of the time, it's probably to rework on the management, and just reshape the full company. So why do you buy on full companies instead of just investing a small chunk inside of them?
Sure. So when I say buying, it's from 51%. So, and we don't want to digest them. We want them to work as they worked before, because our main idea here is to grow capitalization of the whole holding, for the whole Vox Valor. So we are buying company and growing the holding itself. And usually we don't want to change management, because in this business, actually in all digital businesses, it's all about people. Of course, they got technology, they had IP and many stuff like that. But with good people, you can do much more good things, perfect things. And that's why we just have them. We have them with money, with partnership, maybe with new markets. So we can do anything, say, on our side. And actually, our main type of companies we're buying, that companies that want to grow and they hit some kind of selling in many ways. Maybe they don't have enough money to reopen something, to launch new product, or maybe they cannot enter something, some partnership or geography. So our main issue here is we're here to grow with you. So
interesting. And before the interview, you and I talked about Russia. Right now, what is the situation since the war started? Has that caused issues in the actual VC business for you? How's that been?
Sure. I can say for our company, and then I can switch to the general situation. Yes, it's a big problem for us now, because as I said before, we worked with companies from Russia, with Russian founders. When I say Russian, it's like a quite broad definition. So we also got clients and companies in Ukraine, in Belarus, and before the war it was quite okay. And actually, my colleagues are from Ukraine, and from the February 24th, so it's absolutely different. And now, for example, we cannot simply buy something in Russia, or we cannot buy company or invest in company that is that has any connection to Russia, to Russian market, got revenue from Russia, anything from Russia. And even company relocating to Cyprus, to Georgia, to Armenia, Georgia, say in Caucasus region, not the US, to Poland, say everywhere where they can go. The big problem for them, mostly all European countries are not happy about them. They cannot open companies there. They cannot open bank accounts. It's a big nightmare for them. Even
Wow.
in Cyprus, that is quite not gray, but friendly zone, I must say. It can take
Yeah.
up
And
to
I've seen so many Russians in Cyprus. When Cyprus is not accepting Russians, you know you have a problem.
yeah, it's like a 25% of people living there can speak Russian actually. So it's from everywhere, from Ukraine. And now, yeah, just imagine you got a perfect company, perfect target, and say, guys, we want to have a deal with you. They say, okay, and the very next day, they should relocate to another country. That should restructure the whole company, whole team. They should like relocate people, open new entities, open new accounts, all of that. On the other hand, it's like what happened actually to me and myself. So one marketing agency, they just service company approached me saying, guys, we want to sell you our services. Well, let's try to do that. Let's talk. We arrange a call, and the very next day they say, oh, no, you got connection to Russia. We cannot even talk to you. There is no regulation about that. There is not like restriction. I'm not personally under sanction. I'm not that high-level guy from government of the government. But many companies decided better not to do anything at all. Just you're Russian. Oh, no. Even you have, for example, place of birth, and you have passport, and you got passport of another country, but still, no. You are from Russia originally, and that's enough for Binance and for many other companies.
Yeah.
In general, currently, like say, if I'm in Moscow now, if I can go out for a walk, now it's still okay here. Yes, Starbucks is not working, or like no Nike, Adidas, I mean official, no Nike, Adidas, Mercedes, like Audi and many other brands. Currently, it's not that bad because you got like you bought already everything. But in several of months, it will be much worse. And I still cannot understand how it works. For example, like a couple of weeks ago, Photobank or like guys that working with designers say that, oh, we are not working with designers in Russia anymore.
Okay.
How can this change situation? What should happen? Putin personally say, oh no, without Photobank, I cannot run this war anymore. So it's something quite strange. On the other hand, oligarch in London saying, okay, I don't have enough money, you've frozen all my accounts, I got only 2,000. From Malin say, oh, yes, it's a miserable situation, you need around 200,000 per month, so please give him back his money. Well, I don't get it. And yes, especially during the first couple of months, it was like a Russian, no. We don't want anything from you. Like, and it's still like that.
Like you say, it's strange times. Strange is the word, right? Because us entrepreneurs, we're conditioned always to see the positivity in things, and we don't want to say like a bad time. But I guess we cannot leave bad times because we're always positive, right? Always on the get-go. That's why we're successful, most of us. So just to come back to the founder side of things, because I mean, I've got a bunch of questions listening to you, and you've given like a lot of good insights also, I think. But as a founder, do I say I'm Russian? Do I have to literally relocate in the country I registered a business in, or?
Yeah. For example, I got small pet project. It's about server infrastructure, so not a big thing. And from the beginning, actually, we started in January, but after all what happened, okay, we said, okay, we should do it somewhere else. Actually, before we wanted to do it in France or Germany, because it was, okay, guys, nice market, and it was more for that than for Russia. Actually, we applied to several accelerators, and some of them actually directly asked me, guys, are you from Russia? Yes, we're from Russia. Well, at this level of, say, of our conversation, we decided not to talk to you, just because of that. It's not the quality of the, if they said, guys, it's like early stage, or maybe your idea sucks, or something like that. I can accept that, that's okay. But reject us because of that, that's a little bit too much.
And then they talk about, diversity and stuff like that, but I guess, they, just like most humans, these people are just scared, they see that the herd, the majority is against Russia, and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna follow the herd, just the easy path.
By the
If
way,
you would speak to Peter Thiel, that's another story. You know, Peter Thiel's a contrarian, and he would never follow the herd. You know, he would think on the second level or the third level of thinking, and then possibly, you know, make bets on Russian companies.
by the way, Charles, it's a fun fact. For example, I cannot open company in Germany
Okay,
because of all this stuff, but I can open it remotely in Delaware right now in 1 or 2 days.
really, that is
I,
very surprising.
yeah, I can still open company in the US, not in France, not in Germany, but the US is still okay about that. So
Yeah, I'm trying to open my company in Delaware, and they ask for a bunch of things, and I'm trying to get my Nexus card right now to get it to open, and that has proven to be complicated. It's very slow, but yeah, I get what you're saying. That's quite interesting. But I spoke with a bunch of Russian entrepreneurs also when this started, and they were going through some deep troubles to. You know, just survive. They were jumping through lots of hoops and circles to get to where they wanted. A lot of them, they have been creating new businesses. I'm not sure in what countries exactly. I don't know, maybe Dubai or Bulgaria, for example, countries that can be friendly
mhm,
to these situations, and also that have interesting taxation rates, and
yeah,
obviously the cost, right? Because the cost of registering a company is very damn high in some countries. $5,000 in Dubai, I think, or
yeah,
you know, there's countries that are very pricey, and you know, like I didn't check these matters, me personally as an entrepreneur, up until my third or fourth year, you know, where I would actually register my business. Initially, you need to like be laser focused on the product, but it's very sad nowadays that they, if you're Russian, they need to, you know, check these details up front, and that may cost them very precious time and energy. But the last thing I'll say here on the founder topic, might have a bit more, but it is that in these daunting times, you know, when there's a lot of pressure and when everything is restrained and everything is harder, it forges diamonds, you know, like diamonds of entrepreneurs, you know, that learn to hustle and, you know, be very scrappy and find solutions. But let me ask you this. With all these consequences, like now life is just harder for Russian entrepreneurs, let's say. Just out of curiosity, like initially, I know that the typical entrepreneur reaction or VC reaction typically is just like, okay, let's move on to the next one. But were you pissed at your president for doing that? Were you like
sure.
angry at some people at US for doing these sanctions? What was your first reaction when that happened, and how did you adapt it?
Well, first of all, I guess it's a bad thing to blame someone or something, but at
Yeah.
this current state, what happened? Of course, me personally, like my friends and people I work with, of course, they blame president for that and like government because they did what they did.
Mhm.
I don't want to dive into geopolitical things saying, okay, it was in favor on that group of the
Mhm.
US and like who is the winner after all of that. Uh, Currently, we see that the US is winning in general as a like economy. Of course, they got a lot of internal problem, but me personally, yes. Again, it's not the US that attacked Ukraine. Russian troops did that. So
And in
full
your
stop.
opinion, like in a couple of months, this might take to an end. The troops might start to retract, just like the U.S. troop retracted of Afghanistan. Is that how you're seeing things? And then the entrepreneurs being able to have more freedom. Is that how you're seeing it, or?
With freedom, yeah, it's hard to say because actually a lot of people left country, and
Okay,
that was good people. It's not like some
that'll
ever.
be hard for the economy, right? If
It's
they
a hard.
leave, they'll come back.
Not given. Maybe they will come back when they see that everything is now okay, but it will not be okay for next couple of years,
Okay.
definitely.
Hmm.
Even if they stop everything today, it will take years before it can get to normal life.
Yeah.
And we also understand that isolation of the country currently is not the best way how to be successful in the world,
Hmm.
especially when you're an entrepreneur. And of course, if you're working with government, you have order for government, you're doing some kind of local Microsoft or like local Salesforce, something like that. Maybe you feel much bad about that, but it's like a teeny fraction of people, and they're very close to the circle circle here. And when we say about thousands and thousands of people with quite small, like SMB, what we can call, of course, they lost future for their business. They lost like big other markets, because now it's quite hard to sell even your digital products when you say from Russia. And you see that. You see that all this logistic chain, and now it's all supply chain, now it's all broken.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, you're like selling something from Europe, from, I don't know, from China, from Japan, whatever. Now it's quite hard even to get something to Russia. And another trick is to pay for that, because all was actually switched off. And now even when you're receiving money into the country, so it must be easy now. It's still not easy, and commission from banks are much higher now. So you just pay much more money at every given step now. Of course, as you said, you're becoming more and more, rigid. You know how to handle this and that, but actually you are not focusing on your product, on your service.
Yeah.
You should keep in mind like a lot of things just to do the one simple thing you want to do.
Yeah.
And okay, you should transfer money to that, and then, and bingo. Now, after 3 days, you accomplish something what you can do in 5 minutes before.
Yeah.
Because
my God.
Yeah. It's kind of service things, but now everything is complicated.
So to my understanding, like there's two options, right? So if I'm Russian, I get out of Russia. Maybe I start a company elsewhere. If I'm lucky, they might give me a citizenship or some permission to stay there longer. For example, I think that Singapore has that, where I can start a company and I can stay there. I can have a work visa. I think Costa Rica has that too, in the Americas. So that's my option one. My option two is to really go local, like probably Putin wants it, like and just do business locally. And who cares if Putin wants it or not? As an entrepreneur, those are my two options. And I can rely on local economy. I can start an incubator, a local incubator, and try to make things local until that gets better. What options of the two is better in your opinion?
Well, it's a theorem of Escobar. Both ways are not that good, actually. If you wanted to go before that, maybe it's a good, when the destiny says you go now. With local business, maybe it's not that bad, because a lot of services left. Maybe you can do something instead. The good question is, if, for example, something happens tomorrow and these services come back, what will happen with your business? Like, will it survive or not? As a result, when you're doing some small local business, you put margin, not like a 5, 10, 20%, but 100, 200, because you understand that it's like very, very tiny fraction of time you got in future. So it's only about making money. It's not good. It's not bad. It is what it is. You can do it here. You can try to go somewhere else. Of course, there you will be some outsider at the beginning.
Or maybe find a foreign partner in another country, and with that partner be either like a silent partner, or just legally be allowed to start a business there because my partner is from that country. Say I'm Canadian in my case, that can possibly also be done.
This morning I got a conversation with one friend of mine. They got company in Singapore. I don't know how many people are there as a shareholder. He's one of them. He doesn't live in Singapore. And their bank account was closed because not all shareholders are living in Singapore, being Russian. So very simple here, Charles. So it's not like a this or another way. Banks and financial,
it's all shit.
they prefer not to touch anything than to try.
I'm preparing for an Ironman, this triathlon, which is like a full day, and it's just like an Ironman. That you can try to make it fun, but in the end you might be there 13, 15 hours suffering for one full fucking day. Just that in this case it's for like a couple of years, but I mean, the benefits of an Ironman in tough times is that you literally get 2-3 times stronger after you've done it, And I think that, if there's like a couple years ahead of us, or for Russians especially that are more negative, I think that after that, there will be a hockey stick curve with a bit of luck.
Well, you cannot scare Russian with crises in general because we went through a lot of them, especially who are like who are older than 30 years. They're
Yeah.
quite used to them. Maybe it's a good part of our, say, people saying that they are not afraid of anything in general.
Yeah.
There is a bad thing about that people don't believe in future
Okay.
because anyway it will be worse. Anything. So it will not be good at any point of time because we're going from one bad thing to another.
Yeah.
That's why maybe, again, it's not an advice, but if you know what to do and can do it somewhere out of Russia, maybe it's a good time for you to try.
Or I think, like there's always micro opportunities that are very interesting, and one that can flash in my mind is obviously cryptocurrencies, because no governments have control on these cryptocurrencies. And as a Russian citizen, even if you in online businesses also, let's say physical ones that might be very very tricky, like hardware, but let's say cryptocurrencies, if you have an NFT or metaverse or slash marketplace idea, I think that could be very successful. Something that governments cannot control too much. Obviously, you need to register some business at one time or another. That will be a challenge. And yes, there might be other hurdles over the road that I cannot picture as a privileged member of society, I guess, from being Canadian. But I think these businesses, cryptocurrency, I think they can mushroom pretty quickly in that type of environment. Do you agree?
Well, there is a one big problem that's like a crypto winter or whatever we call it right now. Maybe it's
Yeah.
just not the right point of time. In general, yes, something that is that centralized or like can do from any point in the world, that's okay. Also, just just a simple example. Binance, one of the biggest exchange in the world, they say, we are not going to work with people from Russia, not from Russia, with place of birth Russian, even with other passports. Guys, if you're born in Moscow, end of story.
Don't they have Russian employees at this size?
They don't care just. They decided, okay, we're too big and we don't want to be inside of that. Of course, if you're, say, doing your own project, maybe that's okay. Maybe that's okay, people. But I'm talking to people, and a lot of them actually moved to another places just not to, to be part of that. Also, according to Russian law, it's like a little bit difficult. So you can own it, but you cannot sell it legally. Of course, they cannot prove it or something like that. Yes, it's
I'm
some.
just curious. So, like,
Mhm.
say the CEO of Binance, I forgot his name. This Chinese guy. Say that he's taking that decision, right? How do you think that he took that decision? Do you think that he spoke with a bunch of Russians or political experts, and then he made a very good decision after, like, let's say 10 or 20 days? Or do you think that he just got enraged by like a piece of news that he saw and he made a quick decision on that? How do you think was his thought process on that level?
I mean, I guess that happened to mostly every big company. That okay, for example, IBM decided to quit, HP decided to quit, like Visa,
So
Mastercard
he was
decided.
just following these
I
companies.
guess
It
so.
was
Like
like a purely economical decision, do you think, or there was
I don't think
politics also involved?
I think it's about politics, and it's like everybody is doing that. So it's
Okay.
there's a good joke like, what is current thing? Current thing is about living Russia. So if we got this current thing,
Yeah.
that's okay. Maybe next month we will got another current thing,
Yeah.
and we'll do it.
Yeah, groupthink is also a synonym for that, and we've seen that. Well, personally, a case I've covered myself was the LGBT rights. All the companies putting the LGBT flag
Yeah.
during the Pride Month. And do you think they give a fuck ultimately about like gays, lesbians, queers, and transgenders, for example? I don't think they really give a fuck. I think they just want to be cool. I think
Yeah.
they just want to drive dollar signs, more clients, and recruit more people in the end.
Just imagine that all these companies, the very same Proud Month in China, in Saudi Arabia, in Arabic country in general,
Yeah.
they're not supporting anything because they know their client. And if they even name that, they can lose a lot of money.
But
But
is this the fundamental problem with business? Will, do you think that, you know, we just want to sell something in the end? That's, and I think that's it. You know, if you ask me what business is about first, it's about me making sales, right? So I can survive and pay my bills and all of that. Isn't that the fundamental problem of business, that we always want to drive money first and the ethics go second?
actually, yes, I think it's not about business, it's about society in general. It's something to be likable. Like I like what is mainstream now. I'm like you guys. Buy from me because I like you.
Yeah,
I'm not
social
some
capital, virtue
social, but
signaling.
yeah, you're signaling that I'm at the same level of you as you are. Actually,
Mm,
even maybe I don't know what you're talking about, but today I agree with you. And sometimes company, they even don't understand what they are supporting, or maybe not supporting. That that doesn't matter. But it's a just big general thing. You don't have your opinion. You
yeah.
have a like social opinion. So I got second degree. I got degree in psychology. So it's
And
like
that's
a
why it's strange,
ideal
right?
life.
That's why
Yeah, it's
humans are weird,
ideal.
you know?
Well, yes, and we see cases when, for example, very brave company, Cloudflare, they're providing servers and DDoS, anti-DDoS attack things, and they said, you know, Russians now need more of internet,
Yeah,
more of information, not
I like
less,
that.
and they're still working here. And my great respect, and great thankful to these people. They're absolutely right. If
Oh
you
yeah.
isolate country, that doesn't mean that they change their mind. No, that doesn't work like
But
that.
that's also why like inventions like internet are beautiful, you know, because it's accessible to everyone. Now, yes, the government can censure every now and then, but and that's why also cryptocurrencies have a very bright future. I think these companies and these technologies that are pretty much unbreakable, they're always very much interesting. And yes, in my opinion, it's not by first, psychologically speaking, rewarding is always better than punishing someone. Punishing brings resentment. Just when you bring someone in jail, you know, you put that person in a very dark state, you know, and they cannot really thrive. And a lot of them, the default is just vengeance, you know, eye for an eye. So, oh, you fucked me up right now, then yeah, you go see what I'm gonna do 10 years later, you know. If some Russian terrorism organization, very left wing, will surface eventually, just because we decided to block out Russia. And we've seen that with the U.S. war in Afghanistan. You know, we've seen what it did to these people, and we've created this thing. We've even fueled terrorism. You know, terrorists are when you fight someone, they're always gonna want to fight back, especially males. You know, with testosterone and all of that. So I don't think it's a good thing. And second thing, other than punishing, I think you need to educate these people. I think you need to have conversations with them. You need to talk to a lot of people, with humans, and understand that first they're humans, just like you and I. And second, that you battle test your ideas, and this is how you get an idea on things. Not checking one source of thing that will trigger your emotions, and then you have an opinion. An enlightened opinion in my book is, yeah, by reading books, podcasts, talking to people like you on podcasts, and then you can forge somewhat of an opinion, you know. That's my opinion on things.
Actually, if you don't change your opinion because of new information, that's quite strange. And of
Yeah,
course, it's better to talk to people, to read more, to see it with your own eyes, even to try it.
yeah,
And then that centralized thing with all this Web3, I guess, um, I'm still a big believer that they can do something good. There is a big problem that because of, I don't know, of greed, or I guess it's a good explanation. They, during last, I don't know, 5 years, for example, I cannot name product that changed something in the real world, because it's like a, not bubble, not in a question like a, like .com bubble, but bubble like isolated ecosystem. And they're doing everything only inside the system. We got better wallet, or we got better NFT exchange, or like stuff like that. But
mm,
it's not growing outside. There's not like a
true.
product that is better with blockchain because of ABC. And if
Yeah,
we can do it, it will be really good.
I think
Really,
that NFTs are also, you know, they're a product of human greed, you know. Hey, this is my
yeah,
property. Look at me. Again, talking social capital. Look at my board
yeah.
ape on Twitter. So if you come from that place, I mean, you won't see much innovation. You'll only see stupider stuff. And I don't mean to be offensive. I still think it's cool in some economical sense. You know, the capitalism in me likes it, but I mean, yeah, in terms of big innovations and being useful to society, you know, it's not like blockchain, for example, or Bitcoin. So yeah, I agree with that.
Cool, cool.
I just want to talk about one last thing because yeah, like I have another. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. We have seen one thing with Coinbase deciding not to get into politics, right? At all. Yeah, you know, like oh, we're here at Coinbase just to focus on you know, like or core business, which is, you know, building this exchange and popping all these features and these crypto related products. What is the next step here, like in terms of taking that decision? Do you think that being apolitical as a company is a good thing?
Well, it's hard to say. For me, yes. So I can say that yes, if you're doing business, you're providing service or goods for people, then you should go there and do that. Be the best at your current product. Put more efforts into your product and service. Care more about your client than you know, turning left and right between all these political obstacles. Because at the end of the day, everybody will remember how good your product is, not like how centric or left or right wing you were. No, if it's good, it's good. So
but what if you're Coinbase and you want to literally change the world through your products? You know, I think they have the potential literally to change the world. And I'm not talking about Apple producing an iPhone, but I'm talking about like saving people from poverty, increasing their quality of life, preventing governments from interfering and stuff, you know, preventing canceling people and so forth. So what if that is your mission? You know, shouldn't you like encourage these conversations in the workplace? Couldn't these conversations be used as a culture driver and tighten up the team and increase performances?
So why not, actually? So actually, it's a good thing. You want to make Earth the better place, so let's do it. If you believe in that, and I hope they really believe in that. So please, guys, do that. Do it tomorrow, not tomorrow, but today, because I guess there are like millions or even millions of people, billions of people waiting for that. Not waiting, but if they receive any kind of help in any way, I'm not talking about like charity. No, it's about providing them service that can make their life better. Okay, let it be capitalism. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with paying people for good product, for good service. That's okay. And if it's for like micro credits in Southeast Asia, for example, it was very simple product. People paid interest on that, but that changed a lot of lives because people could buy crops or something, like could buy some simple stuff and then start producing something. That was cool. The same is here. If you can change it, please don't dive into political reasoning, saying we're doing that because we're in this circle or we're like supporting Trump, like I don't know who has Biden. Like, guys, if you can do that, please. World is waiting for heroes like that, actually.
Yeah. And I guess being honest about stuff, you know, a lot of people they put business first, and then politics are used to justify this business and so forth. So yeah, very good conversation we had today. Will need to run on my side, but where can people find out more about you?
Okay, Charles, thanks a lot for having me here. It was really fun. It's like actually it's my first podcast, and I'm really pleased you invited me. So
Pleasure, man.
anytime.
And yeah, I guess people can find you out on LinkedIn, William Belov. So yeah, thank you, Will, for coming in today, and we'll be in touch, buddy.
Thanks, Charles. Thanks.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.